Breaking news! Broncos fans, something big is brewing in Denver. The kind of offseason shakeup that has the entire NFL taking notice, and it's not just hype. ESPN has just dropped a bombshell evaluation that puts the Broncos in elite company, and the reason why might just surprise you. This isn't your typical roster rebuild. This is a calculated, aggressive, and potentially franchise-altering offseason that could set the stage for a playoff run, or maybe even more. The national media isn't always kind to Denver, but this time, they're giving real credit where it's due. A top offseason grade. One of only 4 teams in the league to earn it. And behind that grade, a combination of underrated moves, bold decisions, and a defense that might already be championship caliber. But not everything is perfect, and there's one position group where questions remain, and those questions could decide everything. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening inside Dove Valley, what ESPN loved, what they didn't, and which players could still be coming to the Mile High City. But before we go deep, smash that like button if you've ever cheered for the Broncos through thick and thin. And if you've been part of Broncos country for over 20 years, let us know in the comments with, "Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue." Now let's get into it. Now, to the story that's shaking up the NFL. ESPN has just dropped their latest offseason grades, and Broncos country, you're going to want to sit down for this. Denver has officially been recognized as one of only 4 teams in the entire league to earn an A grade for their offseason moves. That's right. Senior ESPN writer Seth Walder has named the Broncos alongside the Rams, 49ers, and Cardinals in the top tier of NFL offseason performers. A monumental shift, considering just a few years ago we were considered one of the worst rosters in the league. Let's talk specifics. The move that stood out most to ESPN? The re-signing of DJ Jones. Now, his stats may not scream elite at first glance, but make no mistake, this guy is the backbone of our defensive front. While Zach Allen might be the defensive line's focal point, DJ Jones is that immovable anchor. He's the guy who plugs the gaps, takes up space, and keeps opponents from finding daylight. ESPN highlights his second-place ranking in run-stop win rate and 6th in run-stop push distance among interior defenders. These aren't just numbers, they're proof that DJ Jones is doing the dirty work that makes this defense elite. And speaking of elite, this defense isn't just good. It could be outrageous. With additions like Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, and the first-round selection of Jade Barron, this unit is terrifying. Add in Defensive Player of the Year Pat Surtain and you've got a group that might just be the best front 5 in football. Only the Eagles can rival Denver's front in terms of raw talent and depth. Think about it. Cooper, Allen, Jones, Franklin Myers, and Benito. It's a lineup that should have offensive coordinators across the league losing sleep. But it's not just about the starters. Depth is looking strong too. Drew Sanders, Malcolm Roach, and DeAndre Tillman are all pieces that can step in and keep this machine rolling. And with Vance Joseph scheming it all up, Broncos fans, we could be looking at something truly special. That said, no offseason is perfect. ESPN did point out one area where they felt the Broncos could have done more: wide receiver. Right now, the team is counting on Courtland Sutton and Evan Ingram while hoping that Marvin Mims or rookie Troy Franklin breaks out. That's a gamble, and Seth Walder thinks Denver might want to add a veteran presence. Names like Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper are being floated, and let's break down why that matters. Keenan Allen, despite being in the twilight of his career, still put up 744 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2024, even while missing games. Sure, his drop rate rose and injuries are a concern, but for a reliable veteran with elite route running and slot capabilities, he's an intriguing option. You might get him on a $7 to $10 million deal, and Denver does have around $16 million in cap space. On the flip side, there's Amari Cooper, less effective in 2024 with just 547 yards, but he was dealing with injuries. In 2023, he had over 1,200 yards, so the talent is there. Cooper would come cheaper than Allen and still offer a veteran mentorship presence behind Sutton. But questions linger about how well he'd fit into Sean Payton's offense and if he can bounce back fully from injury. Given where we are as a team, this decision isn't just about adding talent. It's about timing, chemistry, and maximizing the window we're in. Bringing in a veteran like Keenan Allen means you're prioritizing reliability and experience in the slot. You're giving Bo Nix, or whoever starts at quarterback, an immediate, high IQ target that understands how to find soft spots in coverage. Allen may not burn you deep, but what he lacks in speed, he makes up for in precision and feel for the game. He'd be a safety blanket on third downs, someone who knows how to move the chains, and in Sean Payton's offense, that kind of weapon can quietly be the difference between a playoff push and falling short. Now, Cooper is a different beast. He's more of an outside threat, but his 2024 dip raises flags. That elbow/hand injury affected him badly, but when healthy, he's a smooth route runner with the ability to win one-on-ones against top corners. He's never been a vocal leader, but on the field, his presence commands respect. Imagine having Sutton and Cooper lined up together, allowing Mims and Franklin to grow without the pressure of having to be the guy immediately. It's a smart buffer move, one that buys you time and protects your younger assets. But let's be real, this decision isn't just about football, it's about cap flexibility. Denver has nearly $16 million in cap space, and if you're making a move, it has to be calculated. Allen at $7-10 million or Cooper at $5-6 million? That's a solid value for what they bring. And even if they don't hit their previous peaks, you're not locked into anything long-term. It's a one-year deal, a shot in the arm that could lift the offense from average to playoff caliber. What makes this discussion even more critical is where this team is heading. Defense? Stacked. Coaching staff? Experienced and aggressive. Special teams? Improved. But wide receiver, the most unpredictable group, still feels like a coin toss. We love the upside of Mims and Franklin, but love doesn't win games in November and December. Production does. The question is whether Payton and Payton believe in the breakout potential of their young guys or if they're preparing to hedge that bet with veteran stability. And don't forget this, we are entering a pivotal season, the kind where momentum builds, and one or two smart moves could change everything. Think about how teams like the Rams or Bengals have made that midsummer push that tips the scales. This could be that moment for Denver. Do we go all in, or do we stay patient and let the young core find its way? It's also worth noting how different this conversation is compared to just a couple seasons ago. Back then, we were scrambling for answers. Now, we're fine-tuning. We're in a position of strength. That's a testament to what this front office and coaching staff have done since Sean Payton took the reins. A- is not just a grade. It's recognition that we're back in the hunt, and for a fan base that's been waiting far. Now, let's turn the lens towards something just as important, the identity and evolution of this Denver Broncos team under Sean Payton's leadership. Because while the ESPN offseason grade and wide receiver debates are grabbing headlines, the deeper story here is how this roster has transformed into one with real balance and direction. Think about this. Not long ago, the Broncos were a team with no clear identity, cycling through quarterbacks, struggling with consistency on both sides of the ball, and never truly threatening in the AFC West. But 2025 feels different. This team isn't just loading up on defense or trying to win with smoke and mirrors. It's building from the trenches out, setting a physical tone, and trusting in player development, especially with the youth movement we're seeing in key spots. One of the biggest indicators of this shift is how the defensive line has been prioritized. When you've got guys like DJ Jones, Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, and Nick Benito anchoring your front, it tells you exactly how this team wants to play: fast, aggressive, and disruptive. That group has the potential to control games, and when you pair that with a linebacker core led by Dre Greenlaw and the leadership of Pat Surtain in the secondary, you're looking at a defense built not just to compete but to dominate. But this isn't a one-dimensional team. On offense, the picture is coming into focus, even if the wide receiver room remains a question mark. Bo Nix is generating real excitement. Is he the long-term answer? Too early to say, but what we do know is that Payton has a track record of molding quarterbacks. Whether it's been grooming young talent or maximizing veterans, Payton's system gives QBs tools to succeed. If Nix can absorb the offense and find rhythm early, this team has a legitimate shot to surprise a lot of people. And let's not overlook the offensive line. For the first time in years, we're seeing real depth and stability up front. Garrett Bowles remains a cornerstone at left tackle, and the additions over the